Hey my beautiful rays of sunshine, welcome back to my channel, Hot Girl Intuitive. It's your girl Mila Shalente here. I hope that you all enjoyed your 4th of July holiday on yesterday. Today's video I want to talk about self-love and what that looks like. There is a need for the collective to start like focusing more on self and what you as a person needs, whether that be rest, getting more exercise, drinking more water, just taking better care of yourself. Sometimes it's it's way easier to put ourselves on the back burner and focus on the needs of others, and look at, if sometimes people may feel like if they put themselves first, then they're selfish, but honestly it's really not. You're doing yourself a disservice when you don't take care of yourself, and when you don't look at your health and how things affect you. If you spend so much time taking care of other people, like, what's going to happen to you when you get sick? Who's going to be there for you? It's one thing to be strong while you're enduring certain circumstances in life, but even the strongest person gets tired. Even the strongest person needs support, and if you're busy being that to everybody else and pouring into everybody else's cup and fulfilling them, who's pouring into your cup? Sometimes you need to take a step back and just do some things for yourself, whether that be for the guys going to go get a haircut, take yourself out to the movies, or like go on a spa date, something that's gonna relax you, anything that you enjoy like doing. You know what I'm saying? That's good overall for your mental health. I myself have had to do that, and that's what I'm learning, that it's okay for me to focus on me, for me to pour into my own cup and give myself love. You know, I'm a mother of 4, so personally, as a mom, you know, it's easy to get overwhelmed with everything that you have going on in your day-to-day life. Something that you all might not know about me if you don't know me personally. Like I said, I just started this platform, so started my channel on this platform, whatnot. November 20th, 2020, my life changed like dramatically. I want to say for about 3 years, I had a implant in my arm for birth control, and it was supposed to be taken out October 2020. I called them 2 months ahead of time to see if they would remove the birth control from my arm, because at the time I really didn't have a need for it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't dating, I wasn't active or anything, and I was told that, you gotta keep it in your arm until it's time for you to move out, take it out or whatever. We can't take it out early if you're not having complications. You have to keep it until it's time for it to come out of your arm. So I made my appointment, which it was supposed to come out October the 17th. And I went into the office, and it's supposed to be a real quick procedure. Like, they numb your arm, and then they're supposed to be able to go in and remove the implant. Well, my doctor lost said implant in my arm. So, arm was bleeding or whatever. At the incision site, they wrapped it full of gauze. And he basically told me that they would have to get in touch with a hospital to set up x-rays so that they could find where the implant was located. Fast forward to November the 20th. I guess after that initial visit, at the time I was working in a hospital for level 1 trauma unit on a trauma step down floor. And I was working 12-hour shifts excessively due to scheduling and short staff issues. And this was around the time when COVID had first started. So from them losing the implant in my arm, I ended up setting up infection. I ended up getting really, really sick. And at first I thought like maybe it was just like when I went to the doctor to rule out whether or not I had COVID, my test results came back negative for all of that. But they told me that I had a real bad bronchitis infection. So fast forward to like November 17th or whatever, I go in to see my regular doctor. Everything's normal. Nothing's like going on with me or anything. I'm just going for an initial checkup. So that was November 17th. November 20th, I wake up and my face and my mouth like feels really numb. Like I had made a appointment at the dentist, and somebody had pumped my mouth full of Novocaine. Like, my nerves and everything was numb. So I got up. At first, I didn't think anything of it, and I was trying to see, like, did I eat anything that maybe I was having an allergic reaction to something. And then I was like, well, maybe my body is just tired. I do work 4 or 5 days, sometimes straight, with maybe one off day in between. My body's not getting the chance to like fully recuperate. So I laid down and went back to sleep. Woke up and was talking to somebody on the phone, preparing to get ready to go to work for the day. I go in the restroom and attempting to like brush my teeth, and I can't keep anything in my mouth, and my face is like visibly like swollen. I initially thought that I was having maybe a stroke because I had lost all the movement in my face. So called my mom, and I ended up having to try to get my kids to my grandma's house. Ended up meeting my mom there and going to the hospital. And they run tests or whatever. I tell them what's been going on as far as like with the birth control, and they tell me, well, um, that with your birth control or whatever, that shouldn't have caused uh, this particular issue. But what happened was the implant was sitting on top of a nerve in my arm, and by this time a whole month had gone by. I still was like getting the runaround as far as like them finding out where this implant was. So I kept having to change my primary care provider until I was able to get somebody that would send me to a specialist that could find the implant. They ended up diagnosing me with Bell's palsy in my face. And it's actually gotten a whole lot better from when I first started, um, from when it first happened. Like I said, this happened November the 20th, 2020. So we're just about almost 2 years in with me having said issue with my face. It caused a lot of confidence issues. For a long period of time, I hated looking in the mirror. I didn't post pictures. I wasn't social anymore. It took a major effect on me as a person. So it's just been a lot to try to overcome. And like I said, I'm grateful that things have gotten a lot better. A lot of the times I may have like tears or something in my eyes. I can remember a point where I was not making any tears at all, and I had no peripheral vision on the left side of my face. Like it was awful to go through. But and then to be told by your doctor, oh, you should be back to normal within three to 6 weeks, and then 3 to 6 weeks turned into 6 months. 6 months turned into a year, and it's like, okay, you try to get to the point where you're not like really just heavily focused on it, you know. But like I said, I'm 34 years old. Of course, something that affects my outer physical appearance is gonna like affect me as a person. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if when a person is talking to me, if they are like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. So I ended up when all this happened, I ended up calling my manager, let her know, what had happened to me, and I was told, oh, well, you still were supposed to be at work, and I'm like, ma'am, I don't know if I've like fully had a stroke. Like I can't. It's no way for me to come in and do 12 hours at a hospital taking care of other patients, and my health is not, the best. So she basically told me, well, you're gonna have to do FMLA. You're gonna have to do FMLA. Went to the my doctor, asked him for FMLA. Well, I don't feel like Bell's palsy is debilitating. Mind you, I have to drive to and from work, and if I don't have peripheral vision on one side of my face, like, it's dangerous for me to be out driving. So I ended up finding a doctor that was going to be able to perform my surgery. And it's like I got to the point where I was like, God, I'm so tired. I don't know what to do. Nobody is not taking taking into consideration what I'm going through and the things that I'm like experiencing is taking a toll on me. It's taking a toll on my kids. And so basically, I was told that I could have, like, I guess if my FMLA got approved, I would have 14 days off from work. Well, the doctor, because he felt like it wasn't debilitating, and felt like I could operate a vehicle with not being able to have full vision, didn't give me FMLA. So I had pretty much put it in my mind that I wasn't going to go back to the hospital, because if I went back, it was a good possibility that they would probably end up killing me. My body ended up shutting down on me. So I was like, you know what? This is going to be a real test of my faith. I don't know what I'm going to do after this point. But whatever it is, I know God's going to take care of it. So I left working for the hospital and was able to set up like surgery. But during this time, I'm like, I still need to be able to find a job to be able to make ends meet, because at the time, it's just me and don't have a lot of help. No, not a lot of, support or whatever. So I had to do what I had to do. And I kept getting these notifications to apply for a job to work at Amazon distribution center. And I have, outside of working at FedEx for maybe a little under 6 months, I had absolutely no warehouse experience. But in my mind, mentally, I was like, I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta be able to make ends meet, and this is basically all I got. So I ended up putting the application in. They had this test that you had to go through or whatever, so I ended up completing and passing my test. They ended up setting a date for me to come and take a badge picture, do a drug test, I guess, and get like a schedule. This was like December the 5th. Mind you, I'm supposed to report back to work at the hospital by December the 14th. So, whole time while I'm out, I never hear from my supervisor or anything. So I think I had to, anyway, I ended up having to go to a hotel, stand in this long line and hope that I don't miss the cutoff to be able to like complete drug tests and all of that. So I got there. This is how I knew. This is how I knew that it was for me, and that God had my back. I literally was like the second to the last person in line. There were like 15 people behind me, and it was one girl standing behind me, and the security guard lady. I think I was supposed to be there at like 4:45 or 5 o'clock or something like that, and I ended up getting there 15 minutes earlier than I expected to get there. So Literally, the girl that was standing behind me, the security guard says, everybody behind this young lady, you got to come back tomorrow. Because basically, I'm like, well, I've dropped my kids off. Like, I gotta get this done. Like, I gotta get it done today. Like, it has to happen today. Now, mind you, I'm still sick. I still have all these other things, going on with me or whatever. But, and also got surgery coming up, like, on December the 11th. So, basically, that gives me like a week recovery time or whatever. I ended up getting a job, getting my location to where they were going to send me, and they gave me a start date of December 17th, which was initially, I guess, I had surgery on December the 11th. The hospital didn't call me to schedule an x-ray for my initial visit at my doctor's office that was supposed to take the implant out until the day before I was about to have surgery. So that was almost 2 months after I was supposed to have the implant removed. I had surgery December the 11th. They didn't call me to come in for a visit to get an x-ray until December the 9th. During the whole process, it was hard for me to hold food in my mouth. I could barely talk. I couldn't pronounce certain words. My speech was like very slurred. I'm still learning to like control certain facial features to this day. I go to therapy at least twice a week, 1 to 2 times a week, and they've started like I guess it's like it's something similar to like acupuncture, where they put like the needles and stuff in the muscles of my face, and then they like shock the needles to try to wake up the muscles in my face. When I tell you, there's some days where like the pain from it all is like very excruciating. But I'm so grateful that I'm not where I was a year ago. I don't know if other people have maybe experienced some of the same issues. Like I said, it's been a huge blow to my self-confidence. But despite all of that, me doing this, I know somebody else 9 times 10 probably not have gone through the same exact situation, but maybe something similar. And I just want to be in a place that, where I can potentially help somebody else that's experienced the same thing. I pray for healing all the time, and I believe that God eventually in his own time is going to be able to heal me from my situation. But right now, I'm pretty much in the energy of what you see is what you get. I'm not gonna stop the person that I am. You know what I'm saying? If people leave my life because of how I look, then you weren't meant to be there in the first place. This video has gone on a whole lot longer than what I thought it would go on. But I had something else that I wanted to share with you all. I guess I could just uh, it was a poem that I wanted to share that I wrote like 2 years ago, and it's in reference to like self-love and choosing yourself and knowing that that's okay. Anyway, the poem is entitled Loving Me. Loving me means knowing that I am more than enough just the way God created me. Being my best when it feels like even that is not good enough. Loving me is accepting that I am not perfect and knowing that past failures and mistakes didn't define me or make me weak. They were lessons. They gave me the roadmap to everlasting success. There is no place in my life for self pity or doubt. What didn't kill me has made me stronger than ever. I find it funny when you underestimate me because your hate only motivates me. It sends me into beast mode, much needed kryptonite to fight and persevere with determination until the very end. Never think for a moment that you got over because I'm no fool. You only get away with what I allow you to. What you meant for bad, God used it for good. Never will I take a back seat to my own happiness. I am triumphant, so never think that you are playing me because in the end you'll only find that you played yourself.